Hi, this is Stephanie from stampwithstephanie.com, and this project is one that I'm going to take for my swap project to Onstage Local in Kansas City this weekend. And I'm calling this a magic gift card holder. And the magic part is you see the image looks like this right now, but when you open it, it changes like magic to this balloon image. And then inside there is room for a gift card. This project was inspired by one that Brandy from the Stampin' Up! Home office did earlier this year. This is the one it's my version of the one that she made. There is a video tutorial on the Stampin' Up! YouTube channel, so if you search for that you can find this, but this is what that one looks like. So the same idea applies here, so I'm going to show you how to make that. First, you will need a piece of Melon Mambo that is 11 inches by 2 3/4. So you just take a regular standard sheet of cardstock and cut it at 2 3/4. Then you're going to score that at 3 3/8. So 1 2 3/8, 6 7/8, and at 10 3/8. All right. Then you will need a piece of Whisper White, and I'm using a Whisper White thick cardstock because it's a little more durable, and we're going to cut that at 3 1/4 by 10. And all of these measurements are going to be in the description box of this video and on my blog, so you don't need to worry about writing those down. And then I'm going to score that at 4 8. All right, and then another piece, I'm going to get a piece of designer series paper, and this is from Pop of Pink. I used the triangles in this one. I'm out of that paper, so I'm going to use another sheet from the same pack, so Pop of Pink. This is going to be 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. The other piece that you'll need, I've already got that cut. It is a piece of acetate or a window sheet that is 3 1/4 by 4. And that is everything for now anyway. And so you'll want to fold in the score lines on this white sheet. And I'm just going to use some fast fuse on these two sides and fold that over. Then on this piece right here, go ahead and fold in all the score lines. And you can kind of put it together to see how this is going to look. So if I put it together like this piece right here is going to be my front panel. So that is, here's this little small piece, and then it's going to be the middle main rectangle is going to be your front window. So I'm going to take my designer series paper, and I'm only going to put adhesive on the 4 edges. I'm not going to put any adhesive in the middle because we're going to cut that out, and I don't want to gunk up my die, and also I can use this piece for another project if I don't put adhesive on it. You'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, so it's going to look like that, and then I'm going to use the Layering Squares framelits. So those look like this, and the die that I'm going to use is the third from the outside on this square. It's really hard to describe which framelit you're going to use when you're using these squares and the circles and everything. But I'm going to center that. You can kind of see by size. going to center that right here, and we cut it with the Big Shot. I have the magnetic platform, but my plates are so well used that it doesn't really, these framelits still don't really stick very well. So I always like to use a piece of washi tape when I'm trying to get something centered perfectly on the Big Shot. So, peel this off. So that's what I'm talking about. You can, well, I glued it together. You could reuse this piece on either of these pieces on another project, or you can just toss them if you're not into scraps. But then you have your Melon Mambo piece looking like this. So next you will want to put some adhesive on this little small rectangle right here and fold everything in. And this is going to fold under just like this. And if it's kind of puffy, just use your bone folder and burnish those edges right there and it will lay flat. Okay, so now we need to do our stamping. So I am using Celebrate Today, and I'm using the solid balloon stamp, the stars, and the birthday stamp from this. So on this white piece, I'm going to use some Melon Mambo. Now my Melon Mambo is almost used up, and I cannot find a re-inker for it, so my image may not come out very solid. And it's also hard to get a solid image using photopolymer. So I'm going to put a piece of foam underneath here, and I'm just going to try to center it. And another trick with the photopolymer is when you lift up, this is going to take the paper with it. And so I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm just going to rub back here to try to get all of the ink all over that solid image. And then carefully peel that up. So you can see my ink pad's almost dried out. So hopefully yours will look better than this. Okay, so after that, I'm going to take a piece of window sheet and carefully put some adhesive towards the top. Oops. And just layer this right on top. Then I'm going to take the little star image with staz-on ink. People will say you can't use staz-on ink on photopolymer stamps. You can. It will stain your photopolymer stamps, but pretty much anything stains photopolymer stamps. And the key is when you wash these, if you use staz-on cleaner to get the staz-on cleaner off of your stamp, rinse it off with water, because it's the staz-on cleaner that actually hurts photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to stamp right on top of here. So here's the acetate piece, and that's what I'm going to stamp on. Now this is like stamping on slime. When you set this down, set it down carefully and just slightly press. Just be really careful because you can slide completely off of the window sheet and you'll have black smudges everywhere. And again, the window sheet will stick to the photopolymer stamp, so just carefully peel this up. All right, there you have it. So I'm going to set this over here to dry for a second. And we do need one more piece of paper. We need a 1-inch scrap, And it doesn't have to be exactly 1 inch. It can be a little more, a little less. And it doesn't really matter how wide. I'm going to use staz-on ink again, and I'm going to use the birthday stamp. And when I cut this, I'm just going to cut it at an angle on both sides, just like that. All right, and I'm going to use a little bit of fast fuse, just a little spot right there. There. Nope. If your fast fuse doesn't work, you can use your finger to kind of roll it to get more of the adhesive exposed. And then the birthday right here. This is probably not quite dry, but we'll try it. So we're going to fold the 2 white pieces together and separate the window sheet. And the white pieces are going to go back here in the back part of our sleeve, and the window sheet's going to go in the front. Just like that. Okay. I forgot the ribbon. So let's take this back out. And I've used the Melon Mambo Stitch 1/8 inch ribbon. And I'm just going to loop this inside the gift card holder and tie a bow towards top left. Trim the tail. And now, again, the white part towards the back and the window sheet in the front. If I can. Of course, I'm on camera, so it doesn't want to work. Okay, like that. And then the only other piece that we have is this happy image, and I use Glimmer paper and the Hello You Thinlits. Hello You Thinlits has happy, thanks, hello you. So I went ahead and used the Big Shot to cut that out of gold Glimmer paper. I've got that here. The letters are very thin, so if I lay this on top, I can see I can glue the H and the Y, and I need to basically leave all the rest of it no glue. So I've got my fine tip glue pen, and I'll just put a little bit of glue, trace the H and the Y. When you put this on, you'll want to position it and then press down for a few seconds just to let it adhere to the paper. And this seems pretty strong. I don't think I would pull on it or anything, but I think it's going to stay. I don't think it's going to fall off. So once you've held that in place for a few seconds, you can just take your fingers off and let that dry for a little while. I would probably let it dry for at least half an hour before I tried to stuff it in an envelope or give it away. So anyway, I think that's it. So when you open the card, you see a balloon image. When the card's closed, you see just a square with some confetti looking stuff in it. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.